Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, after my last couple of videos about Madonna, I thought I'd do a short positive video. Madonna's 1985 hit Into the Groove has surpassed 100 million streams on Spotify, which is her 11th song to have over 100 million streams on Spotify, which breaks her tie with fellow 80s divas Celine Dion and Whitney Houston, which puts her in the lead as the 80s diva, female performer with the most songs with over 100 million streams on Spotify. So although it doesn't sound like a lot, the fact that, she has the most, is an achievement. Like she is more relevant and lasting longer than these other stars that came out at the same time. More people are listening to her. Now Whitney, it's a bit unfair because she's passed. She can't promote her own work. She can't keep producing. Celine was up until recently. Now she's got health problems. She just cancelled a tour. Madonna is the only one of them who's actively performing and still working and still remaining relevant, and that is reflected in people's reception to her music and the fact she is attracting, I guess, some newer fans, or at least the fans who are, engaging in newer forms of entertainment like streaming and so forth, as opposed to people just listening to the same old Into the Groove CD, at home. So it's a good thing. It's a good sign, and I'm just glad that some of her older work is getting the attention that it deserves, because a lot of people just aren't aware of it because they grew up after it, and there was sort of this schism between like the CD and record era and the streaming downloading era, and a lot of younger kids, they just never sort of heard a lot of these songs, and part of that's because they weren't available. Because I didn't realize a lot of Madonna's singles and albums, they didn't just put them all onto streaming for download once those platforms arrived. Like, she's still releasing singles that are like 20 years, 30 years old because they were never released, of course, in this new era. I had them on CD and converted them to digital, which you're allowed to do with Apple and that. So it never occurred to me that those singles weren't available to download independently. There was really only people who had the CDs, that actually had these songs on their computers and were listening to them digitally. So, it's very important that they do continue to roll out her songs from the 80s and the 90s, because people who never heard them before, they're not old to them. They're not just re-releasing old stuff that no one cares about. They're releasing stuff that people who are new to Madonna, these are basically new singles, new releases for her. So I'm glad that that's sort of working. And she's doing better than Celine and Mariah, and she, in theory, will keep, because she's, engaging and courting this audience, this new audience, and focusing more on, digital. I mean, the vinyl's getting a bit of attention because, there seems to be a lot of Madonna vinyl coming out because there's a lot of collectors of vinyl, but that's a fairly niche market. But I don't know, it's just positive. I'm just glad to see it. There's a lot of Madonna fans reporting every sort of little thing that she does or achieve, whether it's really important or significant or not. But this one, kind of is, because it's not just, she got this many streams or that many streams. It's like she has more than these other artists. She's in the front. She, is the top of that particular pile. Again, like, she's always been on the top and stayed on the top, and she is still on the top in a lot of ways. So this is good. And I just want to focus on that for a minute, because, there's a lot of unholy, vulgar things happening at the moment that I sort of am not impressed with. But, we'll get into that, in the next 9 days or so. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Glad Madonna is streaming. Glad people are, buying and playing, Madonna on digital platforms. It's something I was not sure if she was going to achieve. I thought she, cause I just sort of was aware of the fact that other more recent artists like Taylor Swift, people like that, was so far ahead of older artists who most of their fans, came up before the streaming era, and how they would actually, transition and so forth. I was wondering, and I'm just glad to see they've started to actually do something about it, because they're kind of ignoring it for a long time. and now I feel like they're actually embracing it, and they're actually, the strategy is working. So, yep, I'm going to go.